Dragon Ball Legends just released the peak moment from Dragon Ball Super. So how does Dokkan get this guy back to the top? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the LR EZA and GOKU from the Tournament of Power, the final episode of Dragon Ball Super. This was probably one of Dokkan's biggest releases upon release, and one of the most powerful LR EZAs on global at the time of his release, and the only the first LR EZA on JP when he released. We want to kind of take a look at this card because Legends just released for their 5th anniversary the new Legends limited GOKU and FRIEZA. Basically the same card, but with, Legends tuning. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about what Dokkan needs to do to this card to get them back at the top, because I don't see them re-releasing this card because its animations are already superb, one of the best animations still to this date for the time of its release. So let's go ahead, let's start by taking a look at what he did previously before we talk about what I think they could do. So right now he is currently Extreme Z Awakenable, and at that Extreme Z Awaken they are Reps of Universe 7 category Key 3 HP attack and defense 177. At the time of their release, that was the highest leader skill possible, right? We didn't have 180 leads, and we certainly didn't have the 200% yet. He also gave tech types Key 3 HP attack defense 120%. On his 12 key super attack, they were raising defense for 1 turn, causing colossal damage and lowering attack, while on their 18 key, raising defense for the turn and mega colossal while lowering attack and defense. So everything as far as defense came from super attacking, right? And it's especially more true once you look at their passive. They were getting attack and defense 77% when attacking, plus an additional 77% when performing an ultra super attack. They also have an additional 77% when the target enemy is in attack down status and in defense down status, stunned or sealed. And then they got Key 1 at the start of each turn. They had a pretty solid link set over in Flash Experience Fighter, Solid Support, Shocking Speed, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power, right? So basically 4 to 5 links across the board with every major Tournament of Power character on Reps of Universe 7. So it was a pretty good link set. And for the time of their release, like I said, right, all of these buffs that they were getting actually added up to quite a bit, especially in events. I think at the time the hardest event was the God of the Destruction event, and then shortly thereafter the Legendary Vegeta event. So they were very, very powerful for those events. But now with the introduction of Red Zone, Sen Shenron, and other difficult events, they just don't have a place. In fact, Reps of Universe 7 in general does not have a place in today's meta, unless you're running like a major dodge build and relying on the gimmick of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Speaking of, this guy is the main reason that Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, the STR one, is the main reason I think these guys are looking at something on the horizon, whether it's a re-release or what I'm hoping is the eventual EZA2 for these characters. Remember that Dokkan did mention something about revisiting old characters and readjusting their EZAs. I feel like these guys could be the first, given what Legends is currently going through. We can't be too far off, and there's no way Dokkan wouldn't capitalize. Well, I mean, they might not. They might completely ignore it. It's always possible, but Dokkan does like to do things around the same times as Legend, as well as Legends doing the same times same things around the same time as Dokkan. So I think there's a possibility. And given that, I've drawn up what I would think an EZA2 for this character could look like. Now, however they decide to go about it, whether it's an actual EZA form, 30 stone event that gets us a new form, or some type of like Legend does this thing like a platinum equipment, could be something like that, right? Whatever the case may be, I think there is something on the horizon, and I would like to see from them just go ahead and begin by bumping up their leader skill to just a straight 200% for reps of Universe 7. I'm sure there is a Carnival LR soon to come that will do that, but may as well just take advantage of that and just bump it all the way up to 200%. The 177 lead is, well, decent. There's really not much of a place for it, right? So just bump them all the way up. And then give them tech types 130% for that. I don't think we have, aside from the Superclass 140 lead for the Vegito Blue, I think this would be the most likely scenario for a monotype. We don't have anything higher than that for a monotype. Moving on, their super attack, I would like to see them, to keep them relevant in the current meta, they're definitely going to need to be able to greatly raise their attack and defense. So on their super attack, I'm giving them greatly raising defense while causing colossal damage, lowering the attack, and sealing the enemy super attack for events where attack can't be lowered. So this way it gives you some tech, right? We know that in their base EZA passive, they need to have one of these effects. So long as you have the ability to do one or the other on the 12 key, you should be okay in being able to proc that portion of their passive. And, you know, having the ability to seal is just very good. If this is going to be the second time EZA, they're going to have to do something to keep them relevant. On their 18 key, greatly raising this time attack and defense. Give them that little extra boost and attack on their super attack, and then causing colossal damage and lowering enemies' attack and defense. I'm not giving them the seal on that because most characters that can stun or seal usually only do so on either the 12 or the 18 key, usually not both. Their passive, we're going to go ahead and bump it up to 177%. Most EZAs are within the 150 to 200 range. There's a few going above the 200, so we're just going to bump it up to 177. When attacking, that means he can get it whether he super attacks or not, plus an additional if they do get the 18 key when performing an ultra super attack, an additional 177%. So that's already quite the step up from what they had before, but again, this is going to be the second time they're doing this. If Dokkan actually decides to go through with it, it needs to be good and needs to be high enough to keep them relevant for, you know, some time forward, right? We would hate to see a character like this get a massive buff and then immediately age out, which basically everything from the 6th year on kind of did, up until the power creep that came of the 7th year anniversary, right? We'll keep the attack 77% when the enemy is in attack down status, defense down status, stunned, or sealed. Simply because it's so conditional, I don't want to make a huge portion of their passive relying on it, especially in most events where a lot of this stuff can't be done outside of the first phase. So we definitely don't want to have too much attack and defense lost. But what I did go ahead and do is give them a second way to get that attack 77%, and that is they can have an attack 77% plus a chance of performing a critical hit 7% per reps of Universe ally attacking in the same turn. So basically, if you're running full reps of Universe 7, that's 21% chance to crit, along with an additional ally attacking in the turn, right? So they would not include themselves. So an additional 144% on attack, and then 14% on the critical hit. That way, you know, they get a little extra in the sense that they won't be able to activate this in most events. It's kind of what I was thinking there. Plus, you know, with a character as powerful as this, having that little chance of critical hit, even if it's only 14%, that's still pretty good, right? Then we're going to give them, for the first 7 turns, the ability to launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack from the start of turn. And we'll keep the key 1 at the start of each turn. Obviously, getting key per turn is pretty good, right? So for 7 turns, they're building key as well as having the ability to launch additional super attacks. Remember, they do get this initial 177 for attacking. So even if that attack isn't an additional super, they're still going to get that extra 177%, right? So I think this is a good approach because it's building upon what they already have, just kind of upping the numbers a bit and giving them that little extra tech. I think this is what they need to really make themselves relevant once again. Push them back at the top of the yellow coin LRs. They fell off pretty darn quickly. They were almost immediately replaced by the STR Broly when he released, and then soon replaced by the Cell later that was Cell the next? I think Cell was the next LR EZA, right? Unless I'm forgetting someone. So we would hate to see that happen once again for this guy. They were good, the animations are peak, and it would be a shame for this moment in Super to fall to the wayside of Dokkan Battle. And I really think they're going to do something with them on the horizon, given that Legends is going through this. And if you guys seen my previous video, I truly believe the next 2 celebrations will be centered around Universal Survival Saga, possibly bringing us some Universe 11 buffs. And my hope for the Part 2 LR is for June is an Android 17 and 18, culminating in the Tanabata celebration, which could be centered around UI Goku and Jiren. That is the hope, of course. So anyways, guys, that is the video. That is my theory for what, well, not really theory. That is my concept for what a Goku and Frieza EZA2 could look like. What Dokkan needs to do to make these guys relevant once again. So anyways, guys, if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, what would you do for these guys to keep them relevant? Or would you just say screw it, throw them out and start all over, get an entirely brand new Goku and Frieza? What say you? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.